Mm-hmm. Is me live? Let me see. And I don't even know if my microphone's working. It's what I get for going live last second. Oh, uh, see if this mic is working. Good. The mic is working. Hey, Matt German. Hey, Snapshot. I wasn't going to go live. I didn't plan to, but I just thought I'm working on the RatRig while I wait for my Tri-Zero parts, which have been ordered, by the way. And bonus, I will be mentioning them, but the place I ordered my Tri-Zero part upgrade kit from is sending me a free new frame for the Tri-Zero. Hey, Northern Customs 3D and Design. So I ended up printing some new parts for the RatRig because what we're doing is we're going to put, as you'll see, I've taken apart the Hotend and the RatRig. Whoops, way over here, and I'm printing the new some new mounts for the. Hey, Nick. I think this camera's blurry. What's going on with this camera right here? Wrong button. That makes my head shiny. There, I'm blurry. And oh man, that's fussy and finicky. Is that ever finicky? Here, let's make. Oh, come on. Need to put a different camera up there. That's good enough. Good enough for me. Hey, Jack Black. So yeah, so I am. If I switch over to this guy, boom. I'm putting the. Where is it? Where's my Hotend? I'm switching out the extruder and the Hotend. There's my extruder. Where did I put my Hotend? I've got the mosquito somewhere. Let's see. Where did I put the mosquito? Mosquito. Oh, there it is. I put it on here. I've already mounted it up there, but I've got to take it off here because I got to put it on a different. Here, let me get up here, and that's a little dark. I put a light up. Let's see if that light makes a difference. If I can find the remote to turn it on. Here we go. Here. A little bit of a difference. Well, let me just get up here for a minute, and I think I can lighten the camera up with this. There we go. So yeah, I've got to take this off. I put this on for just to fit it yesterday. So we're hopefully going to keep the same EVA 3 generic mount here. Problem I had with this mount that I printed for the mosquito was that the heating ducts were way too low. So the nozzle's too high. So I found another one because I also want to put the beacon probe on this, put the beacon probe back on, right? So have to do a little bit of fiddling. So I'm having to change the cooling duct system, and I'm also having to I printed a new nozzle adapter, nozzle holder, or whatever, Hotend holder, whatever you want to call it. Whoops, I keep dropping screws. And so that comes out. So that's what I had put on for the mosquito. But we got a new one, which I'm pretty sure is going to lower my Hotend a fair bit, I think. We will see. Okay. Let's go back here. We got some heat insets to put in too. So, oh, wrong one. That's me anyways. Hi. So we go back to this one. There we go. So the one that it's a fair bit different because it's meant to have a different fan shroud on it. I found this online. The name's guy's name, I forget his first name, something Wexter. And then we're also using we're putting the Orbiter 2 extruder on that as well. So we've got that mount all done. I've mounted the Orbiter on it, but I got to take it off to mount this onto the EVA 3. And then I'm trying the Tri-Horn heating duct with the mounts for the beacon probe you can see on the bottom. And then I'm also going to try the dual horn heating duct shroud with the 2 holes for the beacon probe on it. So I'm just going to finish putting a couple heat insets in this one, so we can go ahead and get these heat insets. I did drill out these holes a tiny bit so the heat insets fit in there a little more easily. So I think this, oh, I didn't turn my iron back on. It's going to help if I have a hot iron to put these in. So we'll just give that a second to warm up. Yeah, so I thought, well, we've pretty much finished the Trident, and then we're waiting. The next project on the bench, I decided to bring the RatRig back onto the bench to get it going, and then the next project on the bench after that's going to be the Tri-Zero. I'm probably not going to get the parts for the Tri-Zero for about another 2 or 3 weeks, possible. So you need those for your Copperhead. Aha, and I believe they have them for the Copperhead too. So I'm trying to remember the name of the guy I got these off of on printables today, and I just printed. These are just in, and you know what? Color's not an issue right now. I just want to get this printer going. So I printed these in Bamboo ASA on the P1S today. Printed pretty good. This has still got to heat up a bit more yet. Okay, I'll try this now. I like it when it's not super hot when I do these, because then they go in nice and slow and they tend to fit tighter. When it's too hot, I tend to over sink them. Come on. Okay. That looks good. And we'll just put this other one in. Good thing I have a lot of spare heat, a lot of extra heat insets, because I've been wasting a lot lately on trying them on different parts. I suppose I could remove them, but for the fraction of a penny they cost, it's not really worth the hassle sometimes to remove them. There we go. So those should be good, and that's the only heat insets I need on this. I think I need some on the front, because this has a little bit different kind of a fan shroud that's going on these. Let's see, is this meant to have heat insets put in? I believe it is for these front fan mounts. Yeah. So we'll put a few more in here. Uses the same hot block. Ow! I just burned myself on a heat inset. They get pretty hot, and they stay pretty hot for a good minute. So I just take a 4.5 millimeter drill and just clean out a little bit of the hole. That way the heat inset just sort of sits nicely there, just waiting to be put in. And here we go. So I thought, somebody might be interested in seeing what I'm doing with the RatRig here, so I'll stream live. Oops, come on. I'm not going to go too long. What are we at? 7:11. We'll go to 8 o'clock or so. See how much we get done here. I did a bit of work last night. Last night I just took apart the Hotend and tried the other part that I had put the mosquito in, but as I say, I could not. It wouldn't work because the fan ducts were way too low. So we'll see what this gives me. Uses the same hot block. Cool. And we got a couple more to put in. I keep forgetting not to touch the ones that are in there because they're still hot. But I think the sadist side of me must enjoy touching hot insets, because, geez. Okay. One more on this. There we go. Now, is there any? I think I need a couple of insets on this one. So I believe I need one in here and on the bottom for the probe. So let me grab a couple more here. Drink. I have some water here. I have little water left in there. Okay. So we'll get, I have a feeling I'm going to have to rewire the beacon probe too, and wire it directly to the main board instead of using the plug that's on it, or I'm going to have to order a low profile beacon probe. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out as we go. But definitely, I could not get the combination of the, what was the Hotend I had on the RatRig before? So I had the Volcano. No, what did I have? I had the Rapido. So I had the Rapido with, I forget the name of this extruder, with the Rapido Hotend. I could not get it to print worth a damn. So I was running fine before with the Mosquito Hotend. So that's why I said, okay, let's just put the Mosquito back in. So let's go ahead and grab my wrenches over here. 1, 2, 3. And let's grab this out of here. What other heat insets do I need? Let's just put a couple in here, just in case I decide to use this tri-blower. It's recommended with the Mosquito Hotend to use this 3-way cooling fan for whatever reason. So I'll just put it on just in case I can get it to work. And it just uses a couple extra heat insets here is all. There we go. Okay, so we got that one on. Oh, and I think I said I needed another heat inset down here and in here. Now, I don't think I can get that hot iron, Oh, I can get that in there. So let's just get this going in here. Now, carefully, Tim, stupid autocorrect. Carefully, Tim, the heat set is hot. Yeah, you'd think they'd put it in the name, right? Heat. I don't think is that meant to have a heat inset, or is that meant to have a, I think they mean to put it in on this side instead of this side. Let's just see. It doesn't matter which side it goes on. Yeah, I think it'll be easier to put it on this side. Okay, let's see if this will work. Just have to kind of hold this straight in my hand. Yeah, that's going to work. And this is going to be to attach the blower to the, okay. Okay, I add bulges here a little bit, but that's okay. And then I have to clean out the plastic on this end. Or maybe I wasn't supposed to put a heat inset in there. I don't know. Either way, we'll make it work. And I'm just going to double check it here. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. We got this one. Heat inset on this one is, oh, really? So that's going to go on. We're going to screw through there. And I don't know. Yeah, I guess I got to put one in this side. I think there's supposed to be one right there. Well, we're going to find out. Worst case scenario, I reprint these parts. But I think I'm okay. And then we'll just clear this hole again. Where's my M3s? There's my M3. Wrong one. There it is. Perfect. Okay, so those two are ready. This one's ready. Let's go ahead. Let's turn this off for now. And let me take this one back out. And we'll throw it in the new one. I'll show you the difference between the two in a second here. Now, I don't know if it's going to make much of a difference, but we'll see. And I know I'm going to need longer screws. Although, no, these might be good. I think these are 20 millimeter. These are M2.5s. So there's the Hotend. There's a little Hotend mosquito. And now, so there's basically, you can see the difference between these two. But otherwise, they're pretty much the same. So this is going to go. We want this facing forward, so this goes on here. Yeah, and I definitely need some longer screws. So ideally, what's going to happen, and it might not make a difference. Yeah, I think it is going to make a little difference. So what's going to happen is there's more airflow. You're going to get more airflow around this one than this one. And I don't know about as far as sitting lower, and I think it might sit just a little bit lower, but we'll see. But I need to find some M2.5, longer M2.5s here in order to fit these down through here. So that's going right through. Okay. So let's see, do I have any M2.5s in my collection? I don't know. Oh, those are definitely not M2.5s. M2s. Look in your Bondtech box. Yeah. What came out of the Bondtech box? Where is the Bondtech box? Where did I put it? Oh, right over here. Oh no, this is the orbiter. There's no screws in this. This didn't come with any screws, but the Bondtech. I have so many little parts. Like I have a tray here full of scrap screws and everything. And this is my miscellaneous tray, but I know there's none in here that are long enough. So, because those were the longest ones I took out there. But I have a couple other places to look. Let me check a couple other places. Give me uno momento, por favor. I have a miscellaneous bolts and nuts. Let's see. Oh man, might be something in here. This is my unorganized box of miscellaneous parts. There's extra parts for VCore 3. There's like everything in here you could think of. Even I have no idea what this is. Battery pack for something. Anyways, whatever. I digress. I'm getting sidetracked here. Is that a 2.5? No, that's an M3, I believe. Let's see. No, that's an M3. Somewhere. Okay, definitely nothing in here that I can see. Yours came with several 2.5s, your Bondtech box. Okay. Your orbiter did? This orbiter came with no screws. At least I don't think it did. I don't think there was a bag I don't think I put a bag aside when I opened it. But let's see, that's an empty bag. These ones are the shorter ones. Now I do have, let me just look up under here. Let me look under the Rapido. Let's see if there's anything in this Rapido box. Nothing in the Rapido box for screws. Okay. We'll have to put the Rapido back in that box eventually. Oh, there's a dead bug in my box. A dead bug. Come on, come on. Okay, I'm just going to look at one more spot here. I'll switch over to this guy while I go look at another spot here. You can tell this is a last second live stream because I'm disorganized. So what the heck? If you can't be disorganized with friends, you can't be disorganized at all. Not in that one. One of these is bound to have some of those screws. Again, I did it last year, and one day this year, I really need to sit down and organize, sort through all my bins with all my loose screws and everything. Yeah, I know. Go ahead. And I know I set myself right up there for a loose screw joke. And nothing in there. Okay, well, I got one or two more places to look. But I can't believe I don't have any 2.5s lying around. Okay, let me look one more place here. The little drawers over here. I don't think these are 2.5s. Those are M4s. And in this drawer, those are M4s. And down here, these are M3s. Those are M5s. Well, I might just be SOL. One more little place to look here. One more little place. M3, and these are all not long enough. Don't know if those are M2.5s or not. I'll check. Those might be Imperial as opposed to metric. And these ones, okay, we'll just check these. We'll just check these two things here and see. Okay, we're back. Vontech has the only use of 2.5s. Okay, I'm just gonna check. These ones aren't even labeled, but I'm not sure. But I'll be able to tell. That might not be long enough, anyways. No, that's an M3. Damn. And then those are like M1s. Okay, and then here, these are M3s. Pretty much guarantee that's an M3. Yeah. Okay, well, it was fun while it lasted. Hang on, let me try. Those are M3. Let me look in here. Oh, what's that? What is that? Whoops. That was a good hot end. That's an M3. Darn. I have so many extruders that I've taken on and off, and you'd think I would have some of these 2.5s lying around, but where? Don't use them too often. That's too big. Dragon and Rapido all use 2.5s. Yeah. but but because of the way this hot end is designed, it needs a extra long 2.5, which I think is the issue, which I can probably get on Amazon, but getting them on Amazon does not help me right now. Okay, well, I believe I've exhausted my resources for these for now. What's in here? This is all kinds of Oron or Prusa parts. And there any, oh, hang on a second here. Spare parts for the Mini, but those aren't 2.5s. You'd think I'd have done this before I streamed. You'd think. Nope. And there's a whole bag of spare parts for the Mark III, which are, none of those are M2.5s. Okay, this is just all Prusa crap. So, might be time for drilling a tap. I am not going to drill out a Dragon hot end. No. I will bide my time and wait and buy some M2.5s before I do that. But just thinking, racking my brain here, where all my other extruder parts would be. But anyways, yeah, or either that, or if I could find a bolt stretcher, I could just stretch these ones. So how short are these? They are fairly short. These are about 10 millimeters too short. Okay. Well, it doesn't stop me from doing a couple other things. And it just means I'm not going to stream as long. Oh, I keep finding these thinking, but they're M3s. Okay, well, I want to do a comparison here because I have a feeling that this is not going to put my hot end much lower, other than giving it more airflow. I'm asking myself, what's the advantage of this? So if I put that one on, you can see the gap on the bottom. So it basically goes up to the bottom of the black of the heat sink. And if I put it in this one, which I originally had on there, it's basically the same length. So really the only difference between these two, and maybe I don't need this, this one just gives you a bit more airflow and a different fan style. But the problem I'm having, let's put this one back together, and we'll see if I can't figure out the problem I'm having with the fan shroud being too low. Raspberry Pi uses 2.5, does it? For some reason, I thought that because I specifically looked up for a mosquito mount for the EVA 3 with a fan shroud that's going to take a beacon probe, and that's where I found this guy. So okay, so let's have a look at this. So let's switch over to the floor camera. So we have the RatRig here. Let's step up here. Hopefully you can see that okay, what I'm doing here. I think it's in focus. Is that in focus? Let's see. That's reasonably in focus. Okay, so this guy goes in here. So let's go ahead and fix this in here for now. We'll just use 2 screws to hold it in for now because this is just more so a fitting exercise in fitting. Okay, so this we'll put in here. Whoops. Okay, there's the one, and then we'll just fix one on the other side, just so we kind of have even pressure. Oh, that screw is actually a bit too long. And I'll fit one in on this side. Okay, so that's there. And while we're up here, I'm not going to be able to keep an eye on chat too close while I'm up here, but I will do my best. Okay, so while we're up here, let's go ahead and put the mount on for the Orbiter 2. So it's just going to take the orbiter off this mount. I just put this on for fit. It's a brand new Orbiter 2. Just open the box, courtesy of LDO Motors. Okay, I've had this for a while. Okay, so now for this one, I'm going to drop it. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 screws holding this in. Wow. Okay. Sounds like we're having a meltdown upstairs, so I may have to go look at that after. We'll see. Okay. There's our orbiter mount. And we'll just throw this in with a couple screws for now. Just to hold it in place. This is more so a fitting. I haven't put this on yet, so this is just to make sure this is actually going to fit in here, which it looks like it's going to fit just fine. Okay. Okay, so then, of course, then the orbiter is going to sit in this orientation right about like that on here. Okay, so we'll keep that out of the way for now. And in the meantime, we're going to look back at the fans. So let's turn this a little more of an angle so you can see the back here. Now, this might be, maybe this is a case where I've got to raise this piece up somehow, or it's a different printed piece, because even if I put, so just this is we were doing the dual fan ducts, which goes on here, and then the fans go in the back here, but I'm not worried about that. I'm more so worried about the fans coming out of the front here. So let's see if I can't bring this camera down lower, give you guys an angle to show exactly where I'm coming from. And we'll lower this one a little bit. There we go. We're just going to raise this up. There you go, just so you can see in there with me. And man, that's dark. Let me get a light on that. Where's my portable light? Here it is. I'm just going to quickly put my portable light clamp on here after I finish spilling all my drill bits. Hold on. I just knocked my drill bits all over. I'll sort those out after. Ah, crap. Spilling all my flipping bits. That's okay. Timothy. Okay, here we go. Just going to throw this clamp on the light. Give me a second there. Orbiter 2, you want to make a lost in space comment? Orbiter 2, this is NASA mission control. Okay, so let me just go ahead and I don't even know if this light's gonna, or if this clamp will fit on these big extrusions on the RatRig. Oh God, it's gonna be tight, but it'll work. Oh man, is that gonna work? Maybe it's not gonna work. And these RatRig extrusions are huge. Let's try this. Get it on that side, and then we do that. And then if I find the switch and I do this, there we go. Oh, that's a little brighter. Look at that. Now, is it focused? It's reasonably focused. Okay, so all this just to show you one little issue. So if we take our dual duct and put that in there, okay, we're up a little higher now. That's not bad. Okay, so that's not bad. The other one that I had on here, did I throw it away or is it over here? I might have thrown it away. Yeah, I think I threw it away already. Now that's the dual. Let's see with the triple if that's going to work. And that looks like it might work with the triple one right there. So if I get the camera up almost parallel, that's really tough to see. You can sort of see that. That's blurry. My goodness, my eyes are terrible because I'm having trouble focusing this from this distance. I think that's better. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, the problem I was having before with the old shrouds was that they were coming down too low. If you can imagine when I had the Rapido on there, where is the Rapido? There it is. So when I had the Rapido on there, so obviously the Rapido was sitting that much lower. Oops, get my hand out of the way. The Rapido was sitting that much lower. So we're speaking a good 15 millimeters lower. So obviously the shroud I had on there before was designed specifically for this Rapido because of the length of the nozzle. And I don't think that'll drag. So now the question okay, so let's just see. Now the question here of what I've got to look at here is we have the beacon probe. Okay. So the beacon probe has got to go on. Yeah, here's where the issue lies. So the beacon probe has got to mount onto here, but there's no room for that. Okay, so there's no room there. Now in the other one, there's a little bit more room. So if the beacon probe goes there, see, there's no room to plug it, to wire it in. So I may end up taking the beacon wire, which is right here, and soldering the wires, removing these little L guys and soldering the wire directly to that, which I still don't like. I still like to have an inline plug for it. But so they do have a low, what's the word I'm looking for? A low profile probe you can get, but that would mean buying a whole new probe. And I would prefer to, obviously I would prefer to utilize this one. So that's going to go on this way, like so. Yeah, I don't think that'll work at all on this. Well, this might work on the triple one, but it's just very tight right in here. Sorry, wrong way. Yeah, I can't get that in far enough to hit those screws. So that's really poor, unless I put a little washer or something in there, but then we don't want that sitting too low. Okay, well, let's take these few things here and let's take a couple of these short screws for the probe and this, and let's head back over to the bench and have a look at this. Just remove the plastic, not the pins. So you're saying don't remove these pins, just the plastic. It all depends on, don't drop the probe. I don't want to break my probe. So here's the triple one, which they recommend for using with the Mosquito, okay, which I don't necessarily need to. That just gives it that back cooling. So now if I put the probe on here, this does not fit. Like that is not going to fit at all with this, that's not the low profile. So you can kind of see that's not going to fit on there at all with this PCB in there. So that eliminates this for this particular probe. But if I take the dual, I can fit the dual, just barely. It's not quite, something's not sitting right here. It's the pins. So with the dual here, see, that'll go on, but you can see that the pins are impeding this thing sitting flat. So yeah, so what I'm seeing is now that I have to take those pins, which say, not going to focus that close for me here. So see the G plus, minus, and 5. So we have the ground, we have the positive, negative, and the 5 volt. So I'm saying I may have to take those pins, unsolder those pins from there, and then just solder the wire directly onto there. And then that way those pins are not going to impede on this. Okay, and then that'll sit nice and flat in this, and it'll work on this particular blower, but it won't work at all on this one. There's no way. Because on this one, because you have the 3 blowers, there's no clearance in here for anything. Even without the pins, it's the board that's the problem. So this is useless to me at the moment. So I think what I've got to do then is use this dual and unsolder these pins and solder the wire directly to it. But I'd still like to have some sort of a plug so that if I take the hot end apart, I can just unplug, which is not hard to do. I can do that easy enough. So with the beacon wire here, and that means I'm going to take this wire right out if I do. And so this is this should be easy to figure out, because on here this only plugs in. Which way does this plug in? I'm going to assume the red is the 5 volt. So that would plug in that way. Why do I seem to, oh, I see, I'm missing, I see what I did. I unplugged the whole board instead of just the plug when I unplugged it. I'll just have to figure out, I think the red would be the 5 volt, yeah, and the black would be the ground. Then you have green and white, so it's definitely going to go on this way. So it goes in red, white, green, and black. So I would solder it on. You can't even see what I'm doing here. I don't want to pull this whole wire loom right out here. Actually, I can. If I just take that, pull it off here. There we go. So actually, if I switch over to this one, so this is what we're looking at right here. So just taking these wires, cutting these, soldering them directly to these, and then somewhere in line here, just maybe putting a plug so I can plug it in and out, or just leave it. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, that's what I got to do for that. So yeah, there we go. Could that beacon mount under the fans instead of the duct? Good question. I guess it could, as long as I give it that offset. Fans are going to go, hang on, let me grab the fan mount. So these are the fans. So we have one fan here, and then we have the other fan here. Let me just get this thing in place just to hold it for now. Where are they? This one. Let me just hold this in place. It'd be easier for me to look at. That's a good question. As long as I tell it the correct offset, that's really all that matters. Is that the right one? I think that was the right one. Temporary. If it's not, it doesn't matter. I just want to hold these fans from. So here's the fan setup. That's going to go in. So I suppose So I suppose the beacon could go, if I could generate a mount under here of some sort for the probe, I could theoretically mount it under here as long as I can keep it the proper distance between this and the nozzle. So if I switch over to this guy again, and we move this here, where's my thumbnail when I want it? There we are. So if this mounts on the back here, like so, I could theoretically, as you say, mount something under here, for it. And then I am still, it's pretty close, but I am still a good 2 to 4 millimeters from the nozzle. So that might be an idea. Either, yeah. Or yeah, I can't go too much lower though. That's the problem. With that on there, and then if I have a mount here, this is going to have to come back. Definitely come back under there. That might work. That's a possibility too. So that is a possibility. But I think I'd rather be closer to the nozzle. I'm not sure. That could hit. Yeah, it could. Yeah, I think my best bet is going to be to take these out. Not a big deal. It's easy to solder. Take these out, solder directly into the board, and do it that way. So that could be it. Then the other thought is like, okay, well, do I do that or do I go ahead and take the, where did I put it? Oh, over here. If I'm doing that anyways, should I just, oh, why is this light in my way? Got too many lights going here. There we go. Okay. So then I have this one. Well, I could just use this wire. But I have the RevH beacon. I may put this one on too because I don't have an accelerometer on here right away. This one would be even harder. Okay. Because this is the RevH standard, not a low profile. I think actually the other ones, yeah, that's a standard RevH. This has an accelerometer built into it. But I don't think there'd be any easy way to put this on. Definitely not with the plug going up. I would have to take this off and same thing, solder the wires right to this board, but this does take up a little less real estate. This might work with that triple, with this triple one. So it would. So look at this. So if that sits flat on those screw holes for it. And so if I take that plug and I solder the wires directly onto the board, that would work with this triple one. So that would work. And then that gives me the accelerometer built in, because the RatRig is the only one right now that I don't have the accelerometer built in or put on yet. So that might be the way to go. Solder this on here and just use this like this. Then I have an accelerometer and I have my beacon probe and I have my triple. Oh, I had my triple. No, and I have my triple cooling thingamadoober. So keep dropping everything. So this might be the way to go. This just came in, this beacon probe RevH. So I like the fact that it's got the ADXL or the accelerometer built into it. And the board, they have really shrunk it down a fair bit. Huh. This side, what do they mean by this side? Which side's the probing side? Probing side has got to be the flat side. They're not going to probe on this side, no. we'll make sure. We will check instructions and make sure. Anyways, yeah, so I got that, and I got the 10-foot cable with that. So yeah, that's the beacon Teza, and this is the Rev H. That's the newer one with the Rev H with the built-in accelerometer. That's actually an old picture. The Rev H looks different. And normal RA, low profile, Rev H. Yeah, so it's actually fairly different looking. If you look at the two, where's the other one? Where did I put the other one? Where did I put my other probe? It's right in front of me. Where did I put my probe? Oh, right here. So here, I'll just switch to this guy. So here's the, here we go. So here, the top one. So the top one, or the one on this side, this is the original, and this one over here is the Rev H. So you can see they've got rid of that secondary PCB, but also the Rev H, which is this one here, has the built-in accelerometer. So yeah, so it is a little wider, but as I say, it's wider as far as the main PCB goes, but they've eliminated this one. So yeah, pull the plastic and bend the pins. That's a good point too. I could do that, actually bend the pins and then plug it in. That's a good idea. That may work too, because really all I have to do is on this guy here. Let's see on this guy. You see, we're not going to work on this one at all. That's the double. But on the triple, that may just work. If I take that like that, pull the plastic off. Come on, focus. Pull that plastic off and bend those pins straight. It may be enough clearance to get that plug in there. That may just work. And I'm assuming it's going to use the same plug because this is, again, G plus minus 5. So if I were to pull this plastic off, sure, take a brand new probe and rip it apart already. Let me just see. It's got to come off anyways. Not a big deal. So if I were to just take this off, it should just slide off. There we go. Come on. A little bit more to go. There we go. Okay, so these pins just ride straight up and down. So I could theoretically bend the pins over and then put the plug on. I will try that, but I'm not going to try it now because we're almost at 8 o'clock. Okay, maybe I'll pop back on tomorrow and we'll do this. As I say, worst case scenario, I'll just desolder those 4 pins right there. I'll just desolder those 4 pins and we'll solder the wire. We'll just pop off the end of the wire and we'll solder the wire directly onto the board. Worst case scenario. But it HST, but it has to mount with a probe indicator pointing down. Yes, the probe indicator is. That's kind of a. It's kind of confusing because this one, this side, yeah. So on the old one, there's your probe. This one's a little different because the probe indicator, the probe is almost like a black circle there. So this mounts this way down, and even though it says, for some reason on the front on the other side of this, it says this side. Right on that one. See where it says this side? But I'm not sure what that is indicating. But this probes that way. So this one here doesn't have as distinct a circle on it as the other one did, but that is your probing side right there. So this probes, I'm sorry, that is your probing side right there. And this probes this way down. So that's going to work fine. So if you think about it, if I go ahead and mount this like this, and let me just throw a couple screws in here real quick, just to get it, put it in place so I can see what I'm doing. Hang on a second here, and it'll give a better visual than me just holding it. Okay, so we'll screw this onto this shroud. And screw this on. This works good here so far. Okay, so there we have it screwed on. Okay. And then now if you look at the back, so really it's just those pins impeding. So those pins have either got to be bent and plugged in or bent and solder the wires directly into it. Man, yeah, and that's it. Because I can't have the plug coming straight up because it'll interfere with this. But I can, actually, even if I turn the pins around and have the pins sticking out the bottom, that might be a plan too. It's too bad it's not it's too bad it's not a two-way probe, but this is definitely the way it's going to work, like that. But I could take those pins and just reverse them, stick them out the bottom, put the plug back on, and boom, I got the plug. No, I can't do that because that'll interfere. That'll hit. It's got to come out the back. I can't put them out the bottom. It'll interfere with the probing. It has to come out the back. Yeah, that may drag. Exactly, that'll drag. So that's why it's got to come. It's got to come straight out the back. No question. So. Okay, well, we'll look at that again tomorrow or the day after. I'm just going to leave these up here so I know where they are. Leave this all up here. Trident's acting as a bench right now. Poor Trident, not even being printed on yet. So I think that's what we're going to do. Okay. And then in the meantime, I would really like to get those longer M2.5 screws if I can order some and try this. I like the airflow around this one much better. So, yeah. Okay, folks, let me turn this light off. I think it's time I hit the hay, go up and say goodnight to the childs. And it was just a quick impromptu live stream tonight, but I'll be back on this week a little bit. So thanks, guys. Thanks for everybody popping in. Appreciate it. And I will catch you guys next time. See ya.